Aparasapchit sukhavari rashim yasyornimatram bhuvanam samastam guhahitam tam ramanam gadhiram chintavinam hridi chintayam. We did half of the 12th stanza. The first two lines we saw to some extent, but is linked with the third. So, we will go through it again. Ghanachanna drishtir ghanachanna mekam yatha nishprabham manyate chadi mudhan tatha baddha vadbhati yo mudha drishtehe sanityo palabdhi swarupo Mahatma. See, I was telling, the sun can never be hidden. That is, its power of effulgence can never be interfered with by any external force or any external curtains. Similarly, Atma is absolute, it is not mixed with anything. Nothing can hide its effulgence. It is so big. In fact, even when a cloud is clouding the figure of the sun, how are you able to see the cloud? Because of the sun, even though he is hidden, the rays which are seeping through help us in seeing the cloud itself. Similarly, it is the Atman who works on our eyes, on our ears. So all the work we do, all the things we do, it is all to the effect of Atman only. So, yatha baddha badbhati yo mudha drishtehe. This is the answer to a question which somebody asked me yesterday. Yesterday when I left, then after the lecture was over, somebody put a question. If, as you say, that Atman has been hidden, and Atman, I said, is there is a superimposition between the manifested consciousness and these so-called unconscious things. I said the body is cut, body cannot talk, body cannot weep. So the Atman is taking over the characteristics of all these things, and it looks here, I don't say it weeps, I say it looks as if it weeps, it looks as if it is enjoying all the sukha dukkha of the body. Even though it looks like that, Atman has got nothing to do with anything, it remains untainted, it remains nirlipta. How is it possible? The example is in the dream. In the dream, I was a king, I had 120 sons. There was a big battle and all my 120 sons died. Early morning when I got up just at the time when the news came to me, "Oh king, all your 120 sons are gone, what are you going to do?" Suddenly the shock was so much, I got up. When I got up, does the Atman who was enjoying the 120 sons, is it now going to weep for those sons who died in your dream? No. Even though the dream children were there and were being affected, Atma was unaffected, was looking at it. You yourself know, you just watch when you are dreaming. You will find that you are conscious, you are watching the dream. The dreamer is watching the dream. Shantananda himself is watching the dream. And in the dream, Shantananda is trying to get into a running train. He slips and then he breaks his leg. There is a compound fracture. Then the Shantananda soul which is watching it, does it go and help that fellow the least? It is not concerned. It is nirlipta. It is only watching the show and it is happy with that. Because It is not reality, it is only in the dream. If in a drama stage, I am going to come in the stage with my hand bandaged and a lot of blood oozing out, flowing, somebody has cut my hand, and supposing one doctor is sitting there in the audience, will he rush to the stage to bandage his hand along with his first aid equipment? He will only be enjoying the show. Oh, how realistic the man is acting as he is really wounded. So it was not really wounded, the entire thing was a show. So whatever is happening now in our waking stage, it is as good as a dream, it is all a play. The playwright is that Atman, the actor is that Atman, the audience is that Atman. So, Tatha Baddhavadbhati Yo Mudha Drishte. The Atman is never bound. Atman can never be bound. But then it looks as if it is bound. So it is only a matter of a wrong perception. It is a misapprehension. It is a wrong drishti. Drishti means the attitude. So the attitude had a delusion as its base. It was a deluded drishti, just like when you came in the evening in the dusk and then you saw that long rope, 6 feet long, curving in 3 or 4 places, and a portion is raised and it is wafting its head because of the wind blowing, and you mistook it for the serpent. Was the serpent ever in existence? The serpent never came, the serpent never disappeared. The entire thing is only an appearance in the mind. They are not physical appearances. Similarly, what happens is, the buddhi is that reflecting medium, the mirror. Each one has got a different intellect, which has got its own conditioning. A man who was born in a Christian house, he has got a Christian conditioning. A man who was born in a Hindu house, he has got the Hindu conditioning. A man who has been born in a king's house, he has got that royal conditioning. A man who was born in a slum, in a beggar's house, he has that beggar's mentality and he has got that conditioning. So when once that one Atman comes through the intellect, it is a medium, it gets dispersed into various roles and it never happens in reality. The buddhi is an imaginary thing. There is nothing called the buddhi or the mind actually. These are only thought processes. Where is it? It is nothing concrete, it is nothing solid. So the entire thing was only in your imagination, and the world you are seeing is the serpent. And the Atman is that rope. Because of the rope's existence, you are seeing the existence of something else. And as I said, that is called the adhyasa or adhyaropa. Both the terms are used. And you have identified yourself with that body, the body of a serpent. Similarly, this body is part of the world. And when the body is seen, you are also seeing the world. And because of your identification with the body, your son, grandson, your money, your possessions, your debentures, your shares, you are completely attached to them. And anything, if it happens to them, if my grandson is to get 105 degrees temperature, you will not sleep. You will not sleep. That is what is going to happen. See, there is a lady in Bangalore. Her daughter was pregnant. Some doctor said, we will have to check her up for sugar. I think there has got a lot of sugar. Full 24 hours. They were all terrifically worried. They sent word here and all that. So all that time they were praying, they were doing. See, they could not think of anything because it was connected to their body. Because it was connected to their body, it is that attachment to the body which made you think. Absolutely there is nothing which bound you to that girl. Well, it is her prarabdha, he is doing, the minimum you are doing is, all right, you fix up an appointment with the doctor, you take her and come back. Why should you be worried about it? Why should you be concerned about it? And then you may be thinking, well, is this doctor okay? Or shall I call another one? It seems he was in UK for 5 years. So all these things show as if you are bound. You only ignore them all. You say, I am Atman. I have no son. I have no this thing. Yes, there is a time up to which I have helped them. Now, if I were to ignore my spiritual progress, till my 95 years, you see, I am going to serve all the people, one after another, one daughter or other will be coming for pregnancy, one son will send her his daughter-in-law. Or if you are going to serve the entire world throughout your life, when are you ever going to reach the Lord? So you have to wrench yourself from it at some time or other. You should say, thus far and no more. Suppose I never existed, what are they going to do? Let them do it now. No, my daughter, she is also going to the office, they are also going, there is nobody else, I have to look after him. What would they have done if you were not there? Let them do it now. You tell them, look here, I have done all my best, now it is my turn, I have to look after myself. That's all. So you have to be merciless and ruthless, you have to be selfish when you go after yourself. That is very essential. So, tatha baddhavad bhati, you muda drishte. The man whose eyes are clouded, the man who lacks in the discriminative wisdom, the man who is not sthita prajna, he doesn't know what is Atman, what is not Atman, how to proceed in what direction. So, such a person, it looks as if he is bound on all sides. His possessions bind him, his sons bind him, his boss binds him in the work. Where is the freedom? You can't. The moment you come here, you are thinking of going only. Your mind is not in Bhagavan. No, tomorrow there is a conference, my boss has told, you should be here at night 12 o'clock. No, you will have to go around, you have never seen this thing, it is very, very essential. Bhagavan has often told about this Giri. No, I will see it next time. The next time may or may not come at all. I have seen so many people who never had the second time. They were not able to. That is there. So, baddhavad bhati yo muda drishti. Just as you think that there is a serpent, and not only that, even though the serpent is false, it has given you all the consequences are very near. The moment you are practically very near, you are about to have placed your foot, fortunate the right time you withdrew yourself, and your entire body is perspiring. What would have happened? This looks like a kannadi viriyan in his body, because there is something there, some, what you may call, some jerry has been put on that rope. So it looks as if it has got several mirrored body and all that. So naturally, you are worried about it. So the results, the fear is truth, the perspiration is true, but the serpent which gave the perspiration fear, it was not true. So in the same way, here he says, baddhavad bhati. See, Maya doesn't bind you because there is nothing called Maya. Maya is only your own delusion where you put your limitation thinking it is the serpent and it may bite me at any time. Now even walking back will be a problem, it may not pursue me, you are worried whether to stay or whether to walk or call somebody. So this is what is happening. So this is all due to your wrong identification with the body. That is called the Dehatma Bhava. Considering Deha as the Atma, and anything can do with the Deha, you are worried about it. All the bank accounts are related to this body. So if something happens, suddenly you find 3% they have lessened, and you had only last week you have had your fixed deposit. How worried you become, my Lord, they are going to change it all. For the 3%, you don't have sleeps for 3 nights. That's what is happening. So you should know that these are all like the dreams. The Atma is never affected. It is all because we have assumed or we have got some delusion. So we think it is the Atma which suffers. Atma doesn't suffer. Otherwise, so many hours of operation they did. See, in those days they were less equipped for surgery. When Bhagavan's hand was operated for that sarcoma or whatever it is called, that skin cancer, Bhagavan never batted his eyelid and he was just looking at things. That is what is happening. How do they do it? Because they know pretty well, I am the Atman. Remain in that, there is nothing which has got the power to disturb you. It is only we who disturb ourselves. There is nobody who can disturb you. Somebody abuses, don't hear it, get out. Why are you bothered about it? But you hear it, and then you feel how this fellow dares to tell me all these things. Then your mood is gone. Days together you don't talk to him, you don't talk to people, you go on telling, I'll have to teach a lesson to this chap. And you are worried about it. All these things happen. So actually, Atman doesn't have any sukha or dukkha. Atman doesn't have any limitations. Atman is nitya, shuddha, mukta svabhava. It is always liberated. It is always pure. It is always single, advaya. So these are all supposed to be its qualities. So it has got nothing to do with anything. It is just like your dream sun cannot affect you when you are awake. Similarly, we are all in a dream. The day you wake up and you find that I am the Atman, I am not the body, none of these things have got the power to find you. You are always mukta. Not only that, at that stage, the entire world is your dream. When you are mukta, the entire world will become mukta. You can help the world 20,000 times better than today going and just bandaging some fellow or giving some 10 rupees to a poor fellow. More than that you can do, if only you realize first. That is very simple. Now we come to the next 13. Samastashu vastushan usyutamekam samastani vastuni yannas prisanti Vyadvat sada shuddha achaswarupaha sanhityopalabdhi swarupo gamatma. Again, see, this entire Hastamalaka Stotra harps only on that one point. The only point is that we are that Atman. Atman is consciousness and nothing can affect us. There is no world. The world is only your imagination. The world is a paper tiger. It has no powers to harm you. It is you who get deluded and assumes that it has affected you and you weep unnecessarily. That is all. The entire thing is only a make-up, a make-believe. And in reality, Atma alone is there. It is always in bliss, ever blossoming bliss. A bliss which can never become less, which can never become more. It is a permanent bliss of ineffable character. Now he comes to this idea he has told already. Again he is going to tell the same thing. Samasteshu vaktushu. In all the objects of the world, anusyutam yekam. There is only one who is immanent in all the objects. Immanent means he is there very much, but for him there is no existence for the object. Even though you saw this serpent, the serpent looked to be alive, it had all the curvature, it had all the hissing of all these delusions came because of the existence of the rope. If the rope had not existed, we are not fools or nor are we mad to assume that there is a serpent. Not at all. So, anusyutam. Anusyutam means that which follows and becomes a part of it, it enters into its constitution. That is called anusyutam. Syu means the English word syu, S-E-W. So, syu means an tekiradu. That is all. So, syutam is the past participle. It is syun, anusyutam. That's all. Anusyutam ekam. This alone is, and it is anusyuta. It follows. Again, as I told you in the logic of Vedanta, there is a method called the agreement and the difference. It is called the Anvaya and Vyatireka. Anvaya means you say, look here, all these objects, they are all completely pervaded by the Atman. How can it be pervaded? What sort of pervasion is this? The pervasion is not just like if you put water here, the entire thing is pervaded by water. No, it is not like that. It is just like The serpent was alive, the serpent was 6 foot long, and the serpent had 4 curvatures. All these things belonged to the rope. So the rope was existing in every cell. If the rope was only 4 feet long, the serpent could not have been 6 feet. It was also limited to the same 4 feet. So every cell of it, imagine the serpent, and its body, its bones, its muscles, tendons, they were all made up of that rope. Rope only was the truth. And it is in your imagination the serpent has come, that imagine the serpent has taken over the external forms of the rope. That is there. So, it is anusyuta. It is pervasive in it, we call it immanence. Immanence and transcendence. Transcendence means it is not only immanent, it is beyond them also. How much beyond you cannot say. All these things are made of the Lord or the Atman, and it is beyond a lot. But symbolically it is told, when the Virat Purusha came all pervasive, then does it represent the entire energy of the Lord? Is it over with that? He says no. Atyatishta dashangulam purusha evedagam sarvam. You see, even though he has occupied this entire Virat Purusha, that cosmic being, he was also 10 inches ahead of it. So this 10 inches means don't take a measurement and say, oh, Lord is only 10 inches more plus the world. See, the idea is only to say that he is much beyond it. Don't limit him. Don't think that the totality of the world is equal to the totality of the Atman. No. It is only a small portion of it. That Atman is far bigger than all these things. So that is the reason. Samasteshu vastusha nisyutamekam. There is only one, and it is completely immanent in all the objects. But at the same time, if I have to occupy the complete body and all such things, then obviously I should be tainted by the blood, I should be tainted by the muscles. When I am everywhere in the entire body of it, anusyutam means there is not a cell, there is not a point where I am not. I am so pervasive. So being like that, still, samastani vastuni nasprishanti. Nasprishanti, they don't touch, they don't go anywhere, there is no contact at all. Samastani vastuni, all the objects, even though it is inside it, but at the same time it is outside it. That is where the contradiction of the indescribable comes. When you try to describe that which cannot be described, such contradictions and absurdities are common. We will be able to understand at different levels of consciousness. Now, no amount of logic or reasoning will suffice. Yes, we tried our level best. So, samastani vastuni yannasprishanti. So, nothing of it seems, just as I told you during the dream, whatever you had, you were a king. Today I am a beggar, having my commanderoon standing in the Narayana Seva. But then in the dream I was a king. So, when I am now a beggar, I don't live that of a king saying, where is my kirita? I want to go to Narayana Seva with that. People will laugh at me. They will say he is a madcap. So that doesn't touch me. Whatever was in the dream, the moment I came back to reality. I know my state is there of a beggar only. So the question of anything which happened to me in the dream, it doesn't follow me. It doesn't touch me. Then how is it? Vyadvat sada shuddhamatsha swarupaha. Vyat means akasha. Vyat means the space. Don't think sky. See, the sky is a physical thing, while the space is an imaginary factor. It is one of the dimensions of all the materials in the world, the space and time, space-time continuum. And according to the quantum physics, it is the space which curves and it becomes all the objects. The various objects represent the curvature of the space there, with the result there are cross currents of the forces. So that becomes intense and it solidifies into an animal, into a man, into all these things like, all the objects. Vyadvat. Vat means like. Just like the sky. Atman is like this, like the Space. Space, whatever you may keep inside it, it doesn't share any of the characteristics of those objects. Well, 20,000 cows are there here, all big cows. That entire place is reeking of urine and all such things, right? But does the space get affected? The space has nothing to do with all these things. Space is independent. See, based on all these things, I don't know whether I told you, in the MBA, there is a question which they ask. It is actually not from the MBA, those fellows have stolen it from the Zen koans. The question is, they will say, there are two questions they will ask. Number one, I am having an empty vessel, a kamandalu, which is empty. I am taking it from here to there. Then, when it goes inside it, there is a space. Does this space go from here along with it, the same space, does it go there? Or, you take away the space here and you are now filling it up with a different space. This is another question. The second question is, there is a very big, vast forest of several thousands of kilometers. And there is a lone tree there, a big tree, a very big tree, Alamaram, say, a banyan tree, a very big tree. Suddenly one day it just fell down. It was very low, it just fell down. The question is, will there be sound? Is the question. When it falls down, there is nobody in the vicinity, there is no man, no animal, nothing is there. So these are all from the koans. And they're all interesting enough. If we think about them, they're all interesting enough. So, Viyadvat Sada Shuddham. Atma is very pure, 100% clean and pure. What is Vishuddha? What are the likely impurities in the Atma? The first impurity is the Dehatma Bhava. Thinking that I am the body, so I am subject to mortality. I am now 80 years old, I will have to count days when I will depart from this world. And that is the first binding that is there. So, that is an impurity. So, you have to get rid of this bhava and then you become absolutely pure. Because this is the last thing to go. You may renounce the world, you may renounce your house, you may renounce your passbooks, but renouncing the body takes a lot of time. It's not so easy. So, Viyadvat Sada Shuddham, always there is no time when it gets impure. Even if it is among the most impure things, still the Atman is always pure. The next is Accha Swarupa. Accha means that which is absolutely nirmala. Unfortunately in English, Shuddha and Accha you will have to say only as pure, that's all, because there is nothing. So Accha means clear, transparent. There is nothing, no clouding over it. It is absolutely transparent. In other words, all the upadhis and all the limiting adjuncts have all left. There were various limiting adjuncts. Number one, the Atma's first limiting adjunct is the body. You think I am the body. Alright. The next is you think, no, this prana also works a lot, this vital breath which comes and goes. If it goes away, then I am gone. So presumably that should be the Atman. So the second comes the pranamaya kosha. You are identifying yourself with it. And then the third one is you are going on thinking you are never alone without your thoughts. So you say, no, it's a body-mind complex. I am not the body, I am a body-mind complex. So you are taking the mind also and you are trying to identify yourself. Thus, you go on identifying yourself. We will read it in the next one in Atma Bodha or in that Guru Stuti, all these things that come. The Panchakosha Vivechana. How we can get rid of these 5 sheaths and go to the Atman which is inside. See, the entire thing is symbolic. It is not a sheath where you take a knife and then cut it. No. The entire thing is an imagination, but they are very true in their effects. That's all. They may be imaginary. Just like an imaginary serpent which gives you enough fear. So these 5 sheets have got the capacity to hide the Atman, even though Atman can never see it. So it is only again an illusion, Maya as they call it, something which never happened but still it has happened in your mind as a delusion. So, Vyadva Sada Shuddha Acha Swarupaha. He is absolutely clear, transparent, that is his form and that is the Atma. Now we come to the Tata Bhedata Buddhi Bhede Tutepi Yatha Chandrikanam Jale Chanchalatvam Tatha Chanchalatvam Tavapiha Vishnu. Here only the last line is different. He is addressing his Guru, the Shankara Bhagavad Pada, as Hey Vishnu. Till that time he never addressed, he was just answering. Now that he has come to the end of his answer, now he knows he is not an ordinary child. He was a yogi who has come to this body. So naturally he knows that Ishvaro Guru Atmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagataha. There is no God apart from the Guru. There is no Guru apart from the God. And there is no God apart from the Atman. So the God, Guru, Atman, they are all meant for the normal understanding of people whose spiritual antenna has not grown much. It's for their purposes. But otherwise, it is all one and the same. The Guru is non-different from the Atman, and the Atman is non-different. So that he is telling here by saying and calling him Vishnu. Either we may say the Shankara, he is considering him as Vishnu, perhaps his special deity. Or you may say, he says, you are the Atman. Atman is everywhere, so he addresses him as the all-pervasive Atman. Vishnu means the all-pervasive Atman. It is you who has come, you wanted the answer. Who taught? You taught. That's all. Upadhav yatha bhedata sanmaninam. There are a lot of crystals, small crystals. You have seen the crystal Rudraksha, made of these grass beads or the crystal only, beautifully, just like the big Rudraksha. Many people wear it, it is pure white. So they are all kept here. And behind each one of these monies, behind each one of these jewels, a person has kept several types of flowers. Behind one he has kept a yellow-colored arali. Behind another he has kept a hibiscus flower which is red in color. Against another he has kept what is called as kanakambara which is ochre color. And he has put another one which is indigo in color, he has put it behind. Now, a man who looks on the front in all those monies, he finds one is a yellow crystal, another is a blue crystal, another is an indigo crystal. So he finds monies of diverse nature with diverse colors. So he says, because of the upadhi, what is the upadhi? Upadhi, I said, these are the external factors which outwardly lend their characteristics, but they are not characteristics which inhere into the object. It is not part of the object. This color has not gone to that. The moment you remove it, it is pure. So that is what is called the limiting agent. So he says, Upadau yatha bhedata sanmaninam. There are very good, beautiful, pure crystals. Mani means we will call it as crystals. But each crystal seems to be different, even though they are all the same. Seems to be different. So where from the Vedata has come? Vedata means that distinction or the difference from one to another. It has come because of the upadhi. Upadhav yatha. The same manner as the upadhi or this external limiting adjunct, namely the colors, the various colored flowers, they are behind all these jewels. So your appearance is crowded now. It is deluded into thinking, oh, I have got one yellow jewel, I have got one blue jewel, I have got an azure colored jewel. So you are thinking like that, which is false. Tatha bhedata buddhi bhede shuti. Just as the external upadhi of a flower came there, similarly in the case of the Atman, the external medium which interferes with the Atman's radiation, that happens to be the buddhi. So, bhedata buddhi bhedeshu. The Atman, even though it is one, the prism through which it is passed and it gets dispersed, that the colors which come out of it, the dispersed color, the diverse colors which come out of it, they are all different because of the difference in the race. Similarly here, the buddhi is being different, my buddhi is different, my intellect is different, your conscious intellect is different, her this thing is different, his conscience is different. So and this difference accounts for its different specific gravities. So when the medium has got different specific gravities according to the law of light, when a ray gets reflected, it gets deflected, it gets dispersed, and it becomes diverse in its aspects. That is what happens. So, buddhi bhedeshu tatha bhedata asti. Buddhi bhedeshu, the various buddhis, the various intellects, the different intellects, that is called buddhi bhedeshu. Bheda means different. Then this bhedata has come. The bhedata or the difference in the manis, in the Atman, the bhedata saying that I am thinking that your Atman should be different from my Atman, because whatever I am feeling, you are not feeling. I am feeling happiness, somebody else is feeling unhappiness, somebody is feeling fear, somebody is feeling an ecstasy. So why this difference? Bhedata. So this difference or the bhedata, it is all because of the reflecting medium happens to be different with a different conditioning in each. That is what makes you attribute to yourself all the punyas and papas. All punyas and papas are imagined by the buddhi. So if when you take away the buddhi, there is na punyam, na papam, na saukyam, na dukkham, chidananda rupa shivogam, shivogam. There is nothing like that. We are all beyond it. But because of a wrong identification, we are so worried about everything. There are people who are so neurotic. If something wrong happens here, somewhere somebody is doing, they can't sit here quiet till they go and give him left and right. To that extent we get disturbed. We don't see that what have I got to do with it. I am not an administrator. I come here for 2 days. What right have I got? It is for the other people to see. They know what should be done. Yatha chandrikanam jale chanchalatvam tatha chanchalatvam tavapi iha Vishnu tavapi tatha chanchalatvam. O Atman, you also have got that oscillating tendency, that moving tendency, chanchala, moving from one to another. Suddenly you are very effusive, you are happy, you call them, come on girl, so nice, come on let us go home. The moment he goes home, the fellow relapses into absolute silence, he doesn't talk, this fellow feels embarrassed, I don't know why this fellow called, because he has now got a depression as soon as he came home. Because he didn't find his wife, they said she has gone to ladies' club. I have told her several times not to go at this time, I will bring guests. So he goes into depression. This is what happens. Yatha chandrikanam chale. How this chanchalatvam for you? How can Atma be moving? Atma is immobile. Atma is just like the kutastha, just like the peak. Nothing can shake it. It is unshakable. Where from it gets its shake? Because of the various reflections which you are seeing in the buddhi. Just as in the water you saw the reflection. The water was going on being moved because there is a wind and then the water is moving here and there. So you find the sun also is moving here and there. Here he has given about Chandrika. Chandrikanam yatha jale chanchalatvam. Just as the moonlight, when it comes down, you find the moonlight and the moon, they are going on, oscillating. They are shaking, they are moving because the water was moving. So, chanchalatvam yatha jale, chandrikanam jale. Chandrikanam chanchalatvam. The moon has got its chanchalatva, its shaking tendency, jale, in the water, because the water is moving. Tatha chanchalatvam tavapi Vishnu. So, with this, the last shloka ends, but let us see that last poem written by Bhagavan. Attattil nalli bola Ahanma vaikattalal Hastamalaka Stotramagum Perpetrad Andri Hastamalakan Yendra Av Arivinal Periavalan Itarai Avaralum Yatidapattanama. The one who had done it, then Shankara Bhagavad tells him, look here, his period with you is over. He is not your son. He is the yogi. He wanted to give you some 12 years of happiness. He has done it. Now, don't see, it is his spirituality which is at stake. And you yourself are a highly spiritual man who is doing your Agnihotra. He has studied the Vedas very well. So, you leave this boy to me. He is mine. Well, he can't say anything. At least he is happy that my son is now talking, that's all. So he goes along with him. So his name was Hardatta, the son of Prabhakara of Mahabali Agrahara. So he says, in these 13 slokas, he has very clearly, just like a gooseberry on the hand, you can clearly see it. You know why? It is of a different color, it is purely yellow, green in color. So in this brown, it can be very clearly seen. Otherwise, if something of a skin color you keep it, somebody may not see that because the background happens to be in the same color. They call it protective coloration in the science. So this is a contrast. That is why. So ullangai nellikkani bolu. Just like the gooseberry which is kept in the hand, hasta amalaka. Amalaka means the gooseberry. And hasta means the hand. He was just like the gooseberry in the hand. It was so clear. Anmavai Kattalal. He showed this is Atma. And to the maximum extent possible, through intellect, through logic, through reasoning, whatever possible to, whichever place you can reach, he has tried to reach you. Beyond that, it is our job. You can only take the horse to the water, but it will have to drink. So, Hastamalaka Stotramagum Perpetrad. So this Stotra itself got his name, so it was called Hastamalaka. Ullangai Nellikkani Madri Idellati Valaki Childrenala Anmave, it is Hastamalaka. It was called Hastamalakam because it made everything about Atman as clear as possible. Not only this, Hastamalakan Yandra Abvari Vinil Periyabalam. This Hastamalaka is not a boy. He, a yogi who has spent several years and years in his austerity, he is sitting there. He is a very, very old soul. The body might be young, 13 years, but the soul is, we don't know how many thousands of years old it was or how many lakhs of years it was. And that is why he says, Periyabalam. He is a child, but at the age of 13 you call him Periyabalan, who is a little bigger. Because at the age of 13, a man is, a boy is already has got the power of logic, reasoning and all that. But Arivinal Periya, he is far greater in his knowledge. See, physically you may call him 13 years, but in knowledge he was just like a very, very advanced soul. And Itarai Avaralum Yetirapattanama, like that he was praised by one and all. And Bhagavad Pada took him and installed him in the Purvamnaya Matha. The Purvamnaya Matha, the eastern one, it happens to be at Puri. So he was the first pontiff of the Matha at Puri which was established. This is what is told. So with this we stop. So I told